Friday, and it's very, very interesting today. I can tell you that we have beautiful stories today that will entice you, audience, and I can tell you that we have beautiful things today that we want, that we encourage you to continue with your legal daily activities and have, as usual, my erudite analyst, the person who always analyze to the what? To the core. That is the person who always say the truth as it is. That is the Prince of Peace, Prince Sunny Ajayi. Before I introduce him to the show, let me just look at a few of the papers as we usually have it. We are going to take you through all the phases of human endeavors, talking about politics, education, economy, and of course we are talking to law and its principalities. Then we are going to look at security, health, education, sport, foreign, and I can tell you that my analyst is a specialist in foreign analysis. But before you enjoy him, let me just introduce you. So few of the papers and few of the headlines, we have numbers of this paper. Let us go like this. From the Nation newspaper, we have Naira scarcity lingers despite Supreme Court judgment. And from the Punch, banks impartial compliance begins skeletal recirculation. From Blueprint, we have you are paying for ignoring G5's warning, Wikileaks article. Then from Nigerian Tribune, we have PDP makes 5-point declaration to INEC on presidential poll. Likewise, this day says INEC's application to court to reconfigure Beavers raising integrity questions. Likewise, from New Telegraph, we have INEC seeks court's permission to reconfigure Beavers for Saturday's polls. Likewise, leadership has something like this. APC leaders move to douse tension over sharing formula. Then the Guardian says article leads supporters to INEC threatens daily protests. Then Daily Trust says queue for cash passes, customers bribe bank officials. Oh, those are few of these things, and we have a lot of readers bills because my guest is a person who goes from lane to breadth, and let me just roll it to his court. Prince of Peace, you are welcome, sir.
Yeah. It's great to be here. Thank you.
I hope you can see that all the stories we have today, they are very nice one. Gone are the days, that is a few hours ago when we were having ash stories. Let us take it from this angle. The Nation newspaper says Naira scarcity lingers despite Supreme Court judgment. Where are we going?
Where are we going? I think it's a question that's on everybody's lips. I don't even know, because even me, as I'm here right now, I don't have up to 400 naira cash. And it's really tough, and it's every home like that. You know, even many big men today are eating their homes without beef, you know, or animal protein. So it's really, really sad. It's so sad again that the apex court in the land has ruled. And everybody, I mean everybody, should obey. And so there's something that the lawyers call contempt of court. So we don't know when that will apply, you know. And so because, like I wrote in one of my theses on Facebook, that the governor of the central bank is actually a staff of the central bank,
Yes.
not its central.
The civil servants.
Yeah, so for that reason, he needs to obey the ruling of the court, especially, you know, the Supreme Court. So I hope that this week things will simmer down, and before you know it, at least there'll be Naira everywhere.
Okay, let us look at this from Punch, because in the CBN is still mum. And then banks impartial compliance begins skeletal recirculation. Can other banks, can they do what?
Yeah, you know, this is time for us to know which banks are actually friendly. It's time for us to really know which banks should we patronize. Because it's in terms of need that we know who our friends are. And I think right now, just like when we talk about gas stations, we know there's a gas station, you know, Shobo, and in all over the southwest, that regardless of anything, it will still try to supply, both as they call it, and then the price also will still be the regulated price. So I think people now should be able to say, okay, if these are the banks right now, that when they have these problems, that the banks are always there, so they can then shift their deposit and the rest of them to them. So, and I hope that will be a lesson, or it will now become more competitive, you know, so that people will not be taken for granted. And like the Supreme Court rules that no bank in the world has a right, you know, to tell a customer how much he should withdraw his money. No bank. So this is the only country I know that people will not be told, look, you have 4,000 naira in your account, you can only take 10 naira. It's never done. That on its own is suable. Yes. That if we are to be in advanced communities, so many banks right now will be in court. Yeah, because they're broken, you know, the covenant they have with their customers. I put my money in your bank, so I'm not owing you anything. So when I need my money, it is my right to go in there and, you know, get whatever I want to get. But in Nigeria, they tell you no, you can't take more than 2,000 naira.
Even they tell you that the order comes from the above.
And then we don't even know the above, because the only above I know is God Almighty. Yes.
They revert to central bank.
Yeah, well, central bank. Yeah, you know, like we said several times over. Even I pity some banks, because when these, you know, bank of shares come back, you see what they come back with from the central bank. Mutilated 50 naira notes. Mutilated. And then they spend so many hours sorting them out for their customers. So I hope that Mr. President is the only one that people listen to, especially the governor of the central bank. He will come forcefully to let them understand that it's now at the finishing line. And whatever, you know, happens now is what we're going to remember him for. Yes, forever and ever.
From the Daily Trust, despite the judgment of the Supreme Court last week for Friday, that we should continue spending all the monies because they are not going to be recognized as illegal money. They're not. Yeah. But queue for cash persists. Customers bribe bank officials. That is Nigerianized way of maneuvering.
Yeah, you know, Nigeria is a sweet country, because this is a country where his own currency appreciates against itself. It's very, very funny. Somebody wants to take, you know, money from even these POS guys. They say it's 200 naira per 1,000. So you wonder that even naira now is even more, you know, appreciative than dollars and pound sterling. You know, so I think it's because you know, many people just do whatever they can with impunity and they get away with it. And that's why I'm so afraid, because the judiciary is the most important arm of government anywhere in the world. You know, even if there's a military regime, the judiciary still stands. You know, the military can say, okay, all government officials should go home, you know, if there are political, you know, positions and the rest of them. And again, the assemblies now should be on hold, but the judiciary continues. And where the judiciary of a nation, you know, rulings are no longer, you know, obeyed, then that country should take a stock.
Okay, let's from economy, let us move on to politics. We are from blueprints that you are paying for ignoring G5's warning, Wiki tells article.
Absolutely, you know, because as you know now, you know, it's not only G5 ruling. Article Abubakar was told that power should shift to the south. Abubakar should be, you know, was told that President Buhari has been there now for close to 8 years.
Yes.
And he has to go home. And then there should be somebody again from the south, anywhere in the south. And the south then...
If at all it's not constitutional.
Yeah, if it's not constitutional, but it's doctrine of necessity.
Okay.
It's everybody. What? Yeah, whatever.
Like anybody may sit on the power.
It's doctrine of necessity. You know, when Donald Trump was talking that, you know, it's an American, it's American, it's American, and he was telling other people that they're not American, they were not born American, and all those stuff. The Red Indians, you know, came over to Washington, D.C. and demonstrated that they're talking about America. They are the real Americans. That even Donald Trump himself was a German American. Yeah, because his grandfather was born in Germany. So they were from a Karstadt, the smallest village in Germany, just about 2,000 people. So for me, that's what we call doctrine of necessity. Doctrine of necessity means that let's there be peace. You know, when M.K. Abiola was not installed as a president, and then we formed NADECO. And the Yorubas are saying, no, they've been cheated, and many people died. And then by the time the military said it wanted to go away, then they say, okay, doctrine of necessity means that only Yorubas will feed candidates.
Because of what they have lost.
Is that constitutional? But let there be peace. So if all the governors, you know, from the APC say that, look, let's pass shift to the south. If all the chieftains, the people that really, you know, make the north itself to be the north, you know, say with one voice, let us shift to the south. Why should somebody say no? That should be the only one, and that part should not shift and should be the only one there. So it is not only the 5 governors that voted against Atiku. You know, many people did too. Like we keep on saying that the people that actually voted for Peter Obi are only 2 groups. The fanatical Christians and the Igbo's.
Tribalism.
Yeah?
Tribalism.
And you know, religiosity and the rest of them. And that on its own is not good for our democracy. Yeah, you know, we should look at all these things. There's something that we cannot run away from. Doctrine of necessity. It has to, you know, traverse everything we do as a nation.
Okay, let us look at from Nigerian Tribune. We have PDP makes 5-point declarations for INEC on presidential poll. You know that yesterday Atiku led some group of people to go out to protest.
No, that's good. It's within his own fundamental right. And he said the protest will continue. And I think by the time they finish, allegedly it will move to maybe Dubai. And then you go on and on and on and on and on. I think it's good. It's part of democracy. Everybody has a right. And I hope also, and I think also that today the APC also is going to the street in Abuja. And so, you know, it's a movie. I'm going to be watching them in series. But for me, I think we should be excellent losers, especially at the presidential election. There's a guy called Goodluck Jonathan. That guy's name is in history, and to remain in history forever and ever.
For submitting himself to faith.
You know, he did one thing that always happens in the U.S. People that live in the U.S. or lived in the U.S. will be buttressing my point. You know, as soon, and I also say that as soon as the election in the state of Ohio is announced, whoever is contesting, if it's really true American Democrat, we say, you know, congratulations, my president. To the
submission.
Immediately. And the same thing happens in Nigeria. I've been telling people, anybody that wins Kwara State at the presidential polls will win the presidency of Nigeria. You can go and Google and check it. Anybody that wins, you know, Kwara will win the presidency of Nigeria.
According to you.
According to me. You know, this is not an allegation. According to my research
over
the years. You know, like I said, in the state of Ohio, the capital is Cleveland, you know, on the way to Bob and rest. So, and then Atiku also haven't tried 3 times, for God's sake, and realizing that the state power should shift to the south. And the people have spoken. And Wike keeps on saying one thing, that he doesn't care, you know, who wins from the south.
Okay.
Fantastic. He doesn't care who wins from the south. And that is what most of the people also, all over the country, buy into, that power must shift. Power must shift again. Not because in the interest of the southerners alone, but in the interest of the young people in the north, who in 8 years' time also, want to become the president of Nigeria. Yes. So they know if another northerner gets in there right now, and then he's already another 8 years right now, making 16 years. If this thing should change and go to the south, that will be it. Yes. Anybody who gets that, they have to say, okay, Southern also must be there for 16 years. So those guys also will become old. And then what are we really doing in this country? It's high time we believed, you know, in the movement, you know, of our nation forward. So that our nation cannot be what God has created it to be. And what is that? The Africans' representative in the global space is Nigeria. You know? Before, they used to say of every 4 Africans, 1 of them should be Nigeria. Before, they used to say that every black people anywhere in the world, apart from African Americans, claim to be Nigerians. But today, the reverse is the case. So I think we need to really look at, you know, all these things critically.
Okay, again, the process to the challenge of the election has started, and everybody appreciated it. Look at this from this day saying INEC's application to court to reconfigure Beavers raising integrity questions.
There's no integrity question in all this, because at the end of the day, you know, if you do things the same way, we get the same result. And then what is the essence of even going to all these tribunal, appeal courts, Supreme Court, etc., is to better the operations of INEC.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to move forward. You know, this thing is dynamic. Human beings are bound to make mistakes. Even Jesus Christ and Prophet Muhammad, may the peace of Allah be unto him, they made mistakes. You know, the only perfectionist in the, you know, in heavens and in the world is God Almighty. So we are bound to continue to look at areas where we can continually dot the I's, you know, and cross the T's. So if they now say, okay, we have seen all these things, and there's something also we are seeing from the tribunal, and we need to really, you know, look inwardly and then update our system, I think so be it. So be it. A question of integrity does not really be on the table. No.
Okay, when we look at the way things are going on in the balance of politics, can we say that the coming Saturday is going to be free and fair?
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be free and fair, but my own concern is that people should not take politics as a question of for themselves alone, and then now introduce a lot of hardship for the people. People are not allowed to, you know, actually go about going to the polling units, casting their ballots, going home or staying over there to watch what's going on, you know, or what's going on. I don't think it's good for the polity. I think they should, you know, take away violence out of it completely. Because after all, what sense does it make? After killing many people, they won't get to the position. Their blood will be on him and his generation forever and ever. You know, and then those spirits of those people will be haunting him, no matter how he feels. I've been a CEO of some government establishment. I've been a chairman of one, you know, so, and I know what I'm talking about. That even after taking decisions, I will get back home at night time. Sometimes we won't be able to sleep. I'm talking from experience. And so before we take a decision, we search our conscience. Oh God, what I'm doing right now, is it normal? So all these guys, if they now sponsor people to be killed and this and that because they want to get a position, they are only ruling their, you know, their future. So I'm only praying to, you know, to God, and I'm only appealing to our people that violence should be away from our polity. And the best candidates will match.
Last week, you pinpointed something that regarding to the money issue that affected the last election. You pointed to positive things in it, that it relieved some people who wanted to buy and sell their votes. There were people who voted according to you, according to their conscience. But this time around, coming Saturday, the banks now are now ready to allow money to flow. Then what should we look at? What happened here is that banks resume issuance of old 500 naira 1,000 notes to customers. Then what do you think that is likely to happen on Saturday?
You know now, the currencies are all legal tenders. You know, and like I've been saying that, you know, when we introduce new currencies, we don't just, you know, take away the old ones. They continue to be exchanged pari passu until the old one eventually fades away. This is the way it's done everywhere, you know, so that because they are legal tenders, it's not that take all your currencies to the this is a primitive thing. It's, you know, to me, that's why you see their policies are somersaulting, because most of the time they are self-serving and they are damnly primitive. You know, you look at managerial economics, you search all the books of management sciences, you cannot find, you know, most of these are policies that you are not changing the currency, you are giving the people time frame, you say they should return their own currencies and they cannot get new ones immediately they are returning. You know, ideally and commonsensically, when somebody returns something, you should get another one back immediately. You know, everybody starts suffering in Nigeria. You know, whether poor or rich, everybody just suffering in Nigeria. The other time I listened to Uzokalu on national television. He said when people, you know, go up and down with him, he does this and that. But right now he has only 1,000 naira. Uzokalu is a billionaire by all standards. That he used to give people 100,000. His drummers when they follow him for this. But he said he himself has only 1,000 naira on national television.
The policy has impoverished him.
Everybody is suffering. So what kind of a policy is that?
I want to look at this angle. Money is likely to flow as the bank is ready to issue out the 500 naira and 1,000. Those who wanted to buy votes the other time that didn't have money, they will have money now. Don't you think that people are going to vote?
Listen, what vote are they really buying? We're kidding ourselves. I listened to a video trending right now about Dino Menai. He said they spent 400 billion naira. On what? It's a video trending. I will send it to your WhatsApp. His trend is all over. He said they spent 400 billion naira for that election. I think one day somehow they're still going to tell them to give us the breakdown of how the money was spent. So if they are saying that people are buying for that, I don't know what votes are they really buying or they're not buying, you know. If a candidate is popular, he doesn't need to buy any votes. You know, how much money did Baba Konde spend to win? How much money do spend to win? How much? You know,
even our present governor.
How much did Oyetola spend?
Yes.
How much did the present governor? How much did Rauf Aregbesola spend? If you are popular, you are
credibility.
popular. If you are credibility, honor, fame, integrity, and genuine mind to really serve the people.
Even what you are saying is related to what Bishop Pape said in Nigerian Tribune, saying many Nigerian politicians are mere opportunists. Bishop said that.
Absolutely. When you even look at it, for instance, right now, like I said, some of these guys will have problems. When they on their own get to their peak, you know why? Because some of them do not meet the real constitutional requirement, in the Electoral Act, which is now a law, 2023, which stipulates the time somebody can be a registered member of a party. A registered member of a party is a guy that attends a meeting and is financially involved. It is then when the list will get to INEC. The list must get to INEC a month before their primary. Look at people who change parties.
They can't qualify.
They will not be qualified. So when in the PDP, they quickly run to another party. And by that time, their names have been sent on the PDP list to INEC. Then when they ran to another party again, a few days later, they now went for the primary. And they became the candidates. Come on.
That's the poster in the court.
Yeah, that's the poster for the court. So when they get to court right now, the people are going to find out, look, it should be a month that their names should have gone to INEC. And INEC should have been able to look at them and then send them to EFCC and this and that and that and that, verify whether they are competent enough, they are okay, they are not criminally, this and that, let them be. But by that time, they were seeing some political parties. This is happening in Lagos right now, as I speak to you. It's happening in Lagos right now. Some of these governorship candidates who are going up and down will be disqualified. Some of them were in the PDP. Yes. And then haven't got, some they were in APC. Then haven't got their names sent to INEC, they now cross over. And they pick another ticket, and now they're contesting.
I want to wait for the INEC. Yeah. What is INEC looking at?
Well, sometimes too, INEC on its own is so overwhelmed with so many things. But again, INEC also should decentralize and departmentalize and make sure that there be enough time to do certain things. Instead of giving only 1 month, INEC could easily give about 6 months.
Okay.
Yes. Ideally, when I was growing up, I know that it is the people that funded political parties. And candidacy of a political party was not a function of the pocket.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you. My Prince of Peace, thank you very much. Prince Sunny Ajayi. Mama D said that it's right time at the studio. I appreciate my executive advisor, Akiola Olabi, and producer, Abiodun Olalere. Pa James Awudele is our man behind the camera. I appreciate everybody who made today's production a fulfilling one. I'm at DBC Abijeli Digital next week when we are going to meet again. Bye for now.